6 o'clock on Tuesday, March 11th, and I'll call the meeting to order for the Finance and Personnel Committee. May we have roll call, please, Lori?
Crystal,
Here.
John,
Here.
Emma,
Here.
Todd Kirking,
Here.
Todd Spath.
Here.
Okay, we got a full house. Item number 2 is first period for public comment. I don't know if there's anyone online. Nope. Okay, then we'll just move right along. We'll move to item number 3, which is approval of the committee minutes from February 25th, 25.
It's Todd, I'll approve with minutes.
Okay,
John, I'll second.
okay. Got a motion and a second to approve the minutes. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move right along to item number 4, which is payment of the bills. Lori.
Okay, I don't have a lot to point out this time. In the original bills on page 2, at the very bottom, we're paying Sleepy Hollow because we had a claim with one of our fire, the Chevy Suburban got backed into by actually one of the ambulances. So it had some $2,100 worth of repairs. We have $1,000 deductible, but our insurance company is going to go back and try and collect the other 1,000. So that has been done and paid. And then on page 5, we have the Park and Rec's annual subscription to Rec Desk or whatever. That's what they use for all of their registrations and things. That's the $3,150. So those are the main things I wanted to point out in the original bills, unless anybody's got questions.
No, I don't. Does anyone else? Okay.
Then in the additional bills, you're going to see that we're paying H&N Plumbing for that annual maintenance service that we had approved. And part of it's in building maintenance and the other part is in the fire repairs and maintenance. So that is going out this time. Sure. Fenimore.
Yeah, I don't know how I can't remember well, we had gotten comfortable with them. We had called them in for a few things and I think we generally like working with them and yeah.
You don't have your microphone on either, John.
I won't say anymore.
Then let's see. We're making the additional salt, $23,923.75 for the salt order. And then the last item on page 7 is the payment to the Main Street Apartments for Viroqua as part of the, what's the agreement
Yeah. So as part of the development agreement that we signed with them last year, basically their TIF developer grant comes in 2 ways. And I think Justin was on it at that point. Tanya was part of it, who Emma took over for. So the deal was basically over the course of time, they get what's known as a PAYGO grant, where they get, after they establish your tax base, they get dollars every year. But also because they're a big project and because of the type of project we're doing and because of like where interest rates and construction costs and things like that, we had agreed to do also an upfront TIF grant to them as part of the package. And so that amount right there, that 340 total, is what the amount of TIF agreement was that was generally scheduled to come out in the first quarter of this year. And the reason it's broken up into 2 phases is because 200 of it is just from the money that's sitting in TID 6 right now. And the other 140,000 is from the Affordable Housing Fund that is specially created at the end of the life of every TID to basically deposit 1 more year of revenue into a pot of money that can then be used on affordable housing projects throughout the city. And since the North Point project is very much an affordable housing, low-income housing project, that was a good use of the dollars to try to get them over their financing gap. So that is what that is. And Lori just wanted to make sure, because it is a large chunk of money that everybody was aware of it, and there will be more to come generally with TID 3 in council, but that's where that number comes from.
Right now, I have it sitting, all of that, the 140,000, I have it sitting in the TID 6 project cost because we have not moved the housing, the additional housing money from TID 3 yet. You'll find out that we're doing those
Right.
resolutions and things tonight. So just so that we can keep it in one location and be able to find it when we need to move it, I just put it all under the TID 6 project costs for now.
Good idea.
So other than that, that's all I have to point out unless there's more questions.
Does anybody else have any questions? You hit all mine as usual. We're thinking alike. All right, then I'd be looking for a motion if we're okay with paying the bills.
Todd, I move to pay the bills.
It's Emma, and I'll second that motion.
Okay, thanks Todd and Emma. We have a motion and a second to pay the bills, so we would need a roll call, please, Lori.
John,
Aye.
Emma,
Aye.
Todd Kirking,
Aye.
Todd Spade,
Aye.
and Crystal.
Aye. Okay, motion, we'll pass those on to council tonight. Item number 5 is an administrative update. Is that you, Nate? Oh, it's.
Usually like
Ms.
Pauline, let's go first.
Okay,
Today and yesterday, we've been working on getting the absentee ballots out for the April 1st election. We have over 200 and some of them. I did run low on my ballots for 2, 4, 6, and 8 because the county did not order enough. So the rest of those should be coming the rest of this week. So hopefully I'll get the rest of those out. It's about 8 short. So in case you hear of anybody that didn't get it in I think it's in TID 6, Ward 6, that I kind of held back a couple of them that I knew would be fine with waiting a little bit. Other than that, trying to finish up for some of the things. We're still getting some questions for audit. Just working on setting up my election workers for the election, and just that's what's been my day for the most part in the last
welcome
week
to
or
your
so.
world, huh?
Yes.
Okay, just some quick updates on things going on. So the website continues to do well. We've hit sort of a plateau here of we're not going to see a ton of change to the website. We have started passing off responsibility to some of the department heads who are ready to take on the training. I think I just talked with Rick the other day, and we're going to work on getting the PD the training so that they can start updating their pages and things like that. But a couple of the departments wanted to wait a little bit while they got through some things earlier in the year. But I think now is a time where if members of the council or the mayor have requests, feel free to make those requests about any website items that you would like to see. I'm just going to say that I might not be able to say yes to them, and there might be lead times to when I can roll some of your things out depending on how large or big they are. But I do think we're at a phase here where we can start taking requests. It's just be aware that the bottleneck is still pretty tight at this point. Okay. The comprehensive plan stuff seems to be going well. We're getting good hits on our survey, which means we're getting decent numbers in. I would highly encourage you, if you haven't taken yet, please go take it.
Fun.
It's online. There's paper copies. So if like Todd doesn't want to, use technology, he can come in and fill out a paper copy and turn it in to the front desk here. I'm not to pick on Todd for any reason. But talk to your friends. If you want to repost it, if you have your own personal social media, repost it or whatever, just make sure people see it. The biggest question we're getting right now is like, hey, do I have to be a resident to take it? And the answer is no. The survey asks you if you're a resident or not, but it doesn't kick you out if you say you're not a resident, because somebody thought that like, oh, if I pick a wrong answer, do I get kicked out of the survey? The answer is no. So please encourage everybody to take the comprehensive plan. They're meeting with, or the survey. They're also meeting with identified stakeholders, and so they continue to work pretty well. I'm very happy with the work of our consultants. They're very personable people. They're easy to talk to. They just seem to like they're doing a really nice job. Let's see. Economic development, I'll just skip to this because I know we got other things, is the Hanson Farm continues to go well. We're going to talk about it tonight. Again, that's a big project for us at the city, but everything continues to be moving forward well. It just takes time. Fortunately, we have really good consultants, great director of public works who have really sort of come together to help move this thing forward. And so I'm really proud of where that's at. And I think we're on time with that project to be able to roll things out this year. So more to come tonight on that. North Point, I just had the DOA in town today, the Department of Administration for the state of Wisconsin. They're the ones who gave us the grant for that project. And they basically did a site visit, wanted a tour through the facility, and the building's coming along really nicely. They got the third floor drywalled and sprayed with texture paint and all that good stuff. Cabinetry's going in. Second floor is like a step behind, and the third floor is even one more step behind. So they're starting at the top and working their way down. But they continue to make solid progress, deal with normal construction setbacks, like everybody else does. But that is that's going well, and they should be up and running on time in late August, early September.
Okay.
One other thing is just the the personnel manual, which Todd and John worked with me and Lori on, has just been sitting in, I don't want to say limbo right now, but it's just stuck in the mire because I haven't gotten to it. And there's been more than a couple policies that have been pointed out by some of the other department heads that need to have some serious relook at. Just haven't found the time to double back on them. I'll be honest, the Hanson Farm project does take up a good chunk of time. The IT, bring those in as well. They're performing tremendously well. I think all the department heads have just given A+ marks to them so far. But they are very aggressive in trying to resolve issues that they find, and that just sometimes requires attention and a lot of reading of emails and trying to punch numbers. And part of working with them is just understand what they're saying half the time, because they have to educate me on what they're talking about with some of the things before I can get on board with them. So other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions, but that's just kind of the long and short of some of the things that are going on right now.
Busy.
Yeah, it's going well.
Yeah.
It's stuff's progressing nice.
Thank you. Did anybody have any questions for either Lori or Nate? No? All righty. We'll move on to item number 6, which is a possible closed session per Wisconsin statutes 19.851-C. Considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governing body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. And we're going to talk about vacation allocation for the police chief and the city administrator.
I would move we go into closed session.
Okay, thanks, John.
Todd, I second it.
Thanks, Todd. We have a motion and a second to move into closed session. Lori, may we have roll call, please?
Emma,
Aye.
Todd Kirking,
Aye.
Todd Spaeth,
Aye.
Crystal,
Aye.
and John.
All right, we're back in open session and we have item number 7, which is to take possible action on the items discussed during the closed session. We would be looking for a motion and a second.
Todd,
This is Emma. I'm going to attempt to make a motion that we allocate vacation. What's that?
To proceed as.
Oh, yeah, to approve what we talked about. Thanks.
Todd, I second the motion.
Got a motion and a second. Do we need roll call? I thought so.
Todd Spaeth,
Aye.
Crystal,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Emma, and Todd Kirking.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll do we have to pass that on to council then? I got a
No.
yes and a no. Okay. Okay, just checking. That's okay. Just checking. Item number 8 is a second period for public comment. If there's members of the public who'd like to address the Finance and Personnel Committee, this would be the time to do so.
Gail, you're just for council.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gail's
Okay.
good. Nobody online.
Then we would have item number 9, which is our adjournment. We'd be looking for a motion.
Does Todd will make a motion to adjourn?
Thanks, Todd.
This is Emma, and I'll second that motion.
Thanks, Emma. We've got a motion and a second for adjournment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.